Okay,
We're
I
glad
just
you're
want
here.
to introduce myself. Rebecca Ross, Swampy Iskwew from Pimicikamak Cree Nation. And I've recently retired from the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center as a research facilitator for research and development. And I was employed there for almost 9 years and was a director of education for Pimicikamak Cree Nation for about 19 years. I graduated from the university and I spent about 6 years in university. But as a child growing up, I grew up living on the land with my family, with other families. I lived in fish camps, trap lines, and later on went into day school. But during also day schools, our summers were spent on camps, mainly fish camps. And also later on, becoming a teenager, I went to residential school. And I guess the important part is living on the land, learning our way of living, and also our language, and living with other family groups. We went away from the community. We went on a plane ride, or some of them would travel by water. And we'd be there for 6 weeks. And we'd come back when school is almost ready to start. So I learned about the ways of our people, like fishing, all those things you do on the land, and learning on the language, and also learning from the elders. The elders were our teachers or our mothers on the land. They would show us how to clean the fish, even lifting nets, egg gathering, berry gathering, all those things you do on the land. And that was important. And still today, I do that. My summer starts off with gathering berries. I begin with the strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, cranberries, and these are what I gather to feed my friends, the elders. And when there's a feast happening, this is what I would contribute. And I also do a lot of cooking, traditional food, like living in Winnipeg right now. I live right by the Great Red River, and that's where I want to live. I don't think I can see myself living in Winnipeg without being by the water. As I'm sitting here in this meeting, I face the river. And I like that, I love that, and I love that for my daughter, my grandchildren. And I also do a lot of traditional cooking, which I share with people who come to the hospitals or living in hotel rooms. I would cook up food and share it with them. I do it at least once or maybe twice a week. And in my work, in education, I was an educator for more than 40 years. I never wanted to be an educator, but it's where I ended up. And recently in my work at the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center, I worked on a few projects. One was developing a First Nations curriculum framework. which is not complete yet, but I'm hoping they will carry on. And the other one is a land-based education document for educators. That one is complete. It's at the editor's level and then printing. But with this work, we work with group of educators, not only educators, but elders from the communities, First Nations communities, educators, teachers from the First Nation schools. So I spend a lot of time on that land-based education, because to me that was and is our way of life. And with that, you learn your language. I still carry the high language of my Cree people. There's only a few of us we can do that. And I enjoy spending time with my sister. She lives about an hour and a half north of Winnipeg, and I go there and we talk about the language. We do language lists, and also I can write my language. Just the other morning, I had a request from a friend of mine whose granddaughter was doing some work in university and needed some translations. So I do some of that. And I am proud that I lived off the land, that I was able to witness some of the things that happened. Like, let's say sturgeon fishing was prohibited for my people to catch. So, but they would catch them regularly, but it was for consumption. And I remember they used to hide them in marshes where there's water. And then when it was time to have a feast, we would go get them. Some of those fish are still living in those waters. And I'm also, I was happy to witness one of our elders who used to travel on a raft by the river, in the Great Nelson River, north of Pimicikamak. Like, remembering those things, to have witnessed and to have lived them, has brought me a lot of memories, and I still carry and I still share. And my grandfathers were medicine people, and on my maternal side, they were chiefs. My grandfather was a chief for many, many years, and my mother and brother. So I carry a lot of teachings from not only my families, but from the people and the community. So that is all I'm going to share right now. I'm happy to be here. Ikusani, kinanas komit na.